honeys. So there was like this spontaneous thing that happened. I said I would do a video and I would put it up for you today. And I was going to do it with my webcam, and then that didn't work out. And then I was going to do it with my other little camera thing, and that didn't work out. And so I'm doing it on my iPhone, and I hope that you can hear me, and I hope that this comes out okay. And let me turn off all the other things here that could be distracting. And I basically just put out this thing on Facebook that you ask me anything, and I would love to answer it. And so, to be really clear, like, I don't have the answers. I don't know the truth. I can only speak from when I ask this question to myself, how I would answer it. And so I'm just going to begin and let it just turn out how it's going to turn out. Okay? Thank you for being here. So one of the first questions was, not really a question, it was a statement. It was, and the question that I put out there was if you're having any issues with your emotions, you know, if you feel like, what's going on here? And you know, emotions are fun. They're friends. So the first statement was, falling in love with another brings feelings of unworthiness. And I would just check that out. Like, if you're feeling unworthy, feel unworthy. And then just let the word unworthy kind of drift away and see what's left. There's another response of, falling in love with another brings feeling of unworthiness. For me, is not falling in love. Falling in love is, it's all inclusive. It doesn't exclude anything. It doesn't exclude me. It doesn't exclude them. It's like this inclusion. And sometimes that is feared. That inclusion. Oh, even that is included in this love that I am. But the invitation is simply to sit in that unworthiness and see if that's really what it is. Because sometimes an emotion comes up and we slap a label on it and we make that be the truth. So I just invite you to see if that's really the truth. Okay, and the next one is, I'm struggling with my daughter's self-esteem issues. She is only 6, but she is already saying things like, I'm rubbish at X and Y. I don't know what to say sometimes because we usually try to counter it with positive affirmations, but I've read that sometimes that's not a good strategy. Well, yeah, okay, hold on. I want her to grow up with strength, self-confidence, and positivity, and that is what we try to impart. So, I don't really have any advice, but I can just tell you what comes up with, for me, when I read this. Positive affirmations for me and my children didn't really work. Instead, honesty was kind of what has been working for us. I don't know that it would work for anyone else, but so when your daughter comes up and says, I'm rubbish, my invitation to you emotionally is to check out where you are. Like when she comes and says, Mom, I'm so bad at this, or like my daughter would come and say, I feel so fat, or my son would come and say, I'm such a bad kid. And when I'm not clear, that means that there's emotion that feels like it just hit me in the face. It's because I am pushing what I would feel like if I was them on, perceptually onto them. So I just drop in and I check out what's going on for me. Because if it's hurting me that my daughter feels fat, then that's mine. It's not hers. So once I can feel my emotion about it and understand where I'm coming from, whether that's fear or feeling rejected or feeling not good enough, I let myself feel that, and when that's felt, I am much more clear and present to my daughter or my son in a way that I couldn't have been when my own emotions were not being felt in that moment. So when my son or my daughter is struggling, if I check in with me and look where I'm struggling, I'm much more available to them instead of projecting what I think they're experiencing onto them. I get more curious. I ask more questions. I never tell them it's not okay to feel how you feel. I did that for a long time, and that sucked for everybody. So it's really like if they come to me and they're having emotions or feelings about anything, I just tell them it's okay to feel that way. Now let's find out what's going on. Like what's really going on. And so for one of my youngest, it's like, I can't do this, and it's really, we just reframe it real quick. Okay, so you can't do it yet. What can we do together to see if we can get you there? And or do you really even want to do that? Like, you seem really frustrated. It doesn't seem like something you're having fun at. Why don't we do something else? You know, it's just being really clear with your own emotions. It's my own emotions are what get in my way of being available to my children in a clear way. Next one said, what method would you suggest to getting used to allowing your emotions to flow? Example, recognizing that you are sad and allowing flow instead of boxing it up. What I do is I just notice I'm feeling something. And let's use sadness in this example. So sadness is here to visit. And it's just like a recognition. Oh, I'm sad. Okay. And not really going beyond that and just sitting with that sadness, with that sensation. Not trying to make it go away, not trying to make it stay. Just like as if you'd invited it here. It's like, oh, hi, sadness. Please have a seat. Would you like a drink? Just sitting in that emotion that comes up. Everything comes and goes anyway. There's not much you can do about it. So it's just about, here's sadness, and it's okay that sadness is here. That's the first step. The second step is sitting with the sadness, even as you let the word sadness kind of drift away, and you're left with just a sensation. I just invite you to try that once or twice and see where it takes you, and let me know. Another one I got that I'm not sure, it says, timeout for my child doesn't seem to be working. I'm not sure what to do. Not knowing anything else, what I notice for myself is like, when, who needs a timeout? Who really needs the timeout in that moment that you feel your child needs a timeout? I learned that it was me who needed a timeout. So it looks something like this. There would be a tantrum happening, and where I would have put my son away, I put myself away, and I took a couple minutes to breathe and to see where I was at, to understand my emotions and my fear and what was happening. So I slowed my life down. And then as his tantrums he was going through a phase of that, then so I would just pick up a book, and he would be having a tantrum, and I'd pick him up, and we would go and we would have time out together, and I would spend, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes just being really focused with him, and it was amazing what that did. So just check out when you feel like timeout, like your kid needs a timeout, check and see, who really needs a timeout? I know for me it was me. Thank you for hanging out with me this long. I know it's a long, almost 8 minutes. Thank you so much.